We're back at Investor Town House headquarters in San Diego, California. I'm your host, Daniel Wong. On today's program, we have the CEO of ProofSuite on the show with us today, telling us all about his ICO. Mike, thanks so much for taking the time with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, so let's jump into this. Mike's coming to us straight from Korea, and we would like him to explain what is ProofSuite and what is the technology and how are you applying that?
So ProofSuite is a company that started a little over a year ago, and we focus on creating tools that enable blockchain market activity, from token sale generators for companies to markets where you can exchange Bitcoin for Ethereum to APIs that developers can use to bring blockchain into their applications. So we kind of provide an end-to-end solution for companies and individuals who want to really leverage blockchain technology from the cryptocurrency side all the way to the file recordation side.
So walk us through that. What are the different industries? How are you applying this? I mean, you have some very kind of educational, informational videos you have there, but kind of take us through how these day-to-day applications would work for people with blockchain and these smart contracts.
So we see the world as a place that's currently undergoing a financial renaissance, and we're at the very early stages of that. We believe that things will be tokenized. Right now, we kind of have equities and these securities and derivatives. And we think that in the future, you're going to be able to, for example, if you want to invest in Tesla or SpaceX, for example, you wouldn't have to invest in the whole company, which you might not agree with all of their vision, but you'd be able to basically go into certain product lines. So let's say you believe in the solar power or for this year, or the initiatives or certain particular initiatives. Maybe you believe in SpaceX, a particular rocket, what its payload is and what it will be doing. And so these will be tokens, not really equity. There's no real company behind those things. And we see like more short-term vehicles or even objects as things that can be tokenized. And so that's what we're really working on doing. All of our products are really geared towards tokenizing the real world. You're currently seeing it with ICOs, it's mostly around white papers and ideas, and people are tokenizing those. But we think that people are going to begin to tokenize intellectual property. People are going to be able, like patents, copyright. People are going to begin to tokenize objects that are inside of games. That's currently a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. People are going to begin to tokenize, like I said, business lines. People are going to be able to begin to, companies are going to be able to begin to tokenize their loyalty points, and they will become exchangeable airline points, other kinds of rewards points. And those will be on the blockchain. And so we're seeing it very early stages of the token sale / ICO space, but our goal is to be able to enable anyone from your local basketball team who wants to launch a token in order to raise funds for their season to large companies like Samsung or larger banks that might want to launch a token to split different securities into smaller pieces so that millennials or people who don't have as high income around the world can invest in stocks like Berkshire Hathaway that's $100,000 or Samsung that's $1,000 per share, and basically be able to tokenize those. And that's what we do. That's what we focus on.
No, that's fascinating. I mean, the fact that you mentioned those applications where you can invest in those ideas for specific companies. So whatever you feel the most valuable product is, right? They can invest in that. And then I really like the comment you made about the fact that now, average Joe can invest in some of these extremely expensive stocks like Berkshire Hathaway there. So those are great applications. And there's a lot of different ICOs out there. What's really different about yours? And is this the first of its kind that's doing this?
Yeah, so what's really different about ours is that we're launching crypto fiat. So when you really think about, for example, a Samsung or a Tesla or someone like that who might want to launch a token, people have to put funds into a smart contract. Today you have to put Ethereum into a smart contract. Well, Ethereum fluctuates. So you're not really just investing in Tesla or Samsung, you're investing in Ethereum plus that. Or if you're doing a real estate project, you're investing in Ethereum plus that. And so no logical investor would do that. That's why we don't see that market growing. So we saw this as an issue on our platform for people, and we allowed people to put currently on our dashboard. You can buy tokens of real world assets like real estate for dollars. But we were actually keeping up with the dollars like like a Coinbase does. They just kind of have dollars in database. They have the Ethereum and the Bitcoin on the blockchain, but the dollars they kind of just hold them. You have Tether, which is on Polynex and other exchanges, but you kind of trust a bunch of guys who are keeping $400 million or so in a vault, and eventually potentially will get shut down because as they become larger, it's probably illegal activity what they're doing. Or it'll be made to be a legal activity. So what we have created is a trustless pegged crypto fiat. And so half the funds that we raise during our token sale actually go into this crypto fiat contract, which protects against the volatility of Ethereum and pegs it to the dollar and the euro. And every time someone purchases crypto fiat, it actually raises the buffer that's in there that protects. So the more market activity there is now, that is used inside of our connector of decentralized exchanges. So we were connected with Kyber, EtherDelta, and soon Ethfinex when they launch. And so all the stuff that you had on all the other decentralized exchanges you'll have, plus our decentralized exchange, in one censorship-resistant peer-to-peer platform. And what essentially happens is that you'll be able to use crypto fiat in order to invest in real-world assets. That's the first kind of differentiating factor. The second one is a double-sided insurance market, which allows people to crowdsource the underwriting process of assets that are issued onto the blockchain, so that it creates an investor protection that is more safe than what we have today with centralized regulators from governments who miss a lot of things, who have political interests, et cetera. And so that's a little more complicated side, but at the end of the day, the crowd stakes money to create risk scores, and we've developed a way to do this in an ungameable fashion. In a way that if you wanted to game the system, you would essentially have to insure your issuance for 200%. And once you did that, the funds are not yours. And if you defrauded people, they would essentially get all their money back. Plus, people who point out that your asset was a limit or was fraudulent would be rewarded as well. So we think that this new system is the future of how we're going to assess risk when it comes to investment vehicles, and it's superior to what we have today, which is the same thing we've had for 600 to 800 years since the 1400s and the beginning of the financial system that we've had for a very long time.
That's huge as far as giving investors confidence, especially investors that are new to investing in cryptocurrency, the fact that they do have some protection there with the buffer. I mean, is this where you're basically using the kind of theory of the larger the group, the more you can add protection as it goes in? Is that kind of, if I'm understanding it correctly?
Well, it's all based on market activity. So after the token sale ends, the biggest thing that we can do, obviously, is further develop the technology. It's going to be released in February of 2018. But our goal is to recruit and work with some of the best industry professionals in a particular group of sectors that we've identified, to work with large entities to actually bring great assets, loyalty points, potentially securities, and other kinds of investment vehicles or credits onto the Ethereum blockchain. And so and that will drive a lot more interest among traditional and institutional and hedge funds to actually participate in the market, create more liquidity. And as that occurs, that, as in any market, drives the sustainability of crypto fiat. And the more Ethereum adoption grows and the more that this particular kind of marketplace can grow, the safer it will be for people. It's kind of like a blockchain in general. The more it grows, the more decentralized it is, the safer it is. If me and you launch a blockchain right now, and it's me and you are running the nodes, it's not that secure. We don't have that much hash power. Things can change very quickly. If my node decides to go rogue or decides to fork. So that's essentially kind of the same model that's applied to this. It's basically a social version of a blockchain in a way that's trustless, ungameable, and fully decentralized.
Gotcha. That's a fantastic point. All right, Mike, so plug it. Where can we find out more information? How can people get involved?
Yeah, so you can go to proofsuite.com and learn about our different products, as well as get involved by using our dashboard where you can buy tokens of real estate assets and other assets. You can use our mobile app to create your own community cryptocurrency on Android and trade it around via NFC or QR code. And we have a legal agreement generator that you can use if you're interested in tokenizing an asset. One of the bigger areas that a lot of corporations have is what are the legal, how do you put this into actual legal framework? So we have guides and tools for that, as well as we have IDEs on the web that allow you to kind of learn how to code smart contracts and deploy them to test nets. I think it was one of the easier to use tools. We additionally have a few other simpler tools out there that let you check your token balances, etc. And if you want to create a token sale, we have a really cool, we're going to be open sourcing our crowd sale platform. Currently, there are companies like AmbiSafe and others that charge you about potentially between several $100,000 to millions of dollars when you account for the percentages that they take from your token sale to provide you with a safe environment for creating a token sale platform. We've created one that we think is completely secure that's client side for the most part, and we're open sourcing that in 10 days. We're really excited about that, so that people will be able to, everywhere, and developers will be able to really innovate on top of this thing. It takes a lot of time to build, and you have to get it right. So that's one of the bigger things that we're excited about is open sourcing that. So you can check about that in GitHub very soon. And yeah, if you're interested in blockchain in general, we have a suite of video tutorials and tools that can probably help you get where you're going.
Awesome, Mike. Well, thank you so much. It looks like we're out of time today, but we definitely want to invite you back on the show. Folks, that was Mike DeShazer, CEO of ProofSuite. Mike, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll catch our more podcasts on our iTunes channel and SoundCloud. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and catch us next time. Stay tuned for the next interviews here on InvestorTownhall.com.